Hello everyone, Crash here, this is RTA Motorsports. Today we're going to be looking at the rest of the Cammus C5 bundle, the pedals and the mount. Here we go. Alright, so if you haven't seen our video on the Cammus C5 unboxing, it's going to be in the description box below. If you don't mind helping us out, also consider hitting that subscribe button and that reminder bell so that way you're up to date on the most recent videos and reviews that we're doing for sim racing. Alright everyone, so when I did that unboxing video, I did not know we had more products incoming, and I am super excited that we actually have the mount, which is the table clamp mount, the Cammus CS5 mount, and then we also have the Cammus CP5 pedals. So as far as pricing goes at this time, now I normally don't like to talk about sale prices, but this is coming directly from their website here. So we're going to go into some of these products prices and what the bundles cost with the pedals. So right now, if you're going to buy the Cammus CS5, the table clamp mount, it's normally $39 right now, on sale for $29 if you could buy it a la carte. The wheel itself, as we discussed in that video, is $349, on sale for $249 right now. If you're going to buy the wheel and just the mount, normally $389, on sale for $279 now. So not much more from the wheel price. You could actually get the table clamp mount, and it looks like a pretty good mount too. We're going to definitely open it up and take a look at that. Feels pretty hefty. And then also, if you want to get the pedals on top, I believe that's like a $50 extra charge right now for the bundle, going from the wheel and mount to the wheel mount and pedals. So I'm very curious to take a look at these pedals here. I've seen some videos. Seems pretty interesting. Just for 50 bucks, what you can get for the money. And we're going to look at it a little bit more once we actually break into it. So here we go. Okay, so first let's go into the Cammus CS5 mount. Now, the wheel itself can be mounted independently if you have a rig with a mounting plate. There are those T-bars that come off the back of the wheel, and we're going to go into that when we actually talk about the review of the wheel itself. You can mount that directly to a mounting surface. I heard it has similar bolt patterns to Fanatec, possibly. Not really sure, haven't done it yet, but you can mount the wheel. You don't necessarily need the table clamp, but this will also give you a little bit of angle adjustment on top of that. So definitely something for the money you're definitely going to want to look into if you're looking into this wheel here. It definitely sounds like there's a lot of metal in there, and to be honest with you, this little box is pretty heavy, pretty dense. So I'm imagining that the mount quality is going to be actually pretty good. So it seems like it's going to be all metal in its construction. Let's see if we got some tape on the bottom here. There we go. All right. And there we go. So you can see here inside the box, this is how we're presented. Now there is, it looks like another screwdriver. We got some tools along with it, even with just a table clamp mount, something that's, you know, $39 now discounted to 29 bucks. They still include the tools there. We have some, looks like some foam feet and the ends of the table clamp actually in this one here, along with some hardware, some screws there. We'll take a look at that. It looks like these are the actual screws themselves for the table clamp portion of it. And okay, this is the actual mount, what you're going to mount your wheel to. Doesn't have any screws in it currently, so it comes apart here, but they have it pretty much together so that way you can see how it is. So there is a little bit of an angle there, just in its base level, and then you could actually adjust it all the way up. So you do get quite a bit of angle adjustability there. You can see the 3 holes in the front. I would imagine that's how you're gonna adjust angle. There's some screw holes in the back, so that way you could actually fix it. And then there's a whole bunch of holes on the top here for actually mounting the wheel to it. And then I also remember seeing, I think the fan also mounts to that as well. And these are the bars that are going to hold the actual table clamp. So I'm not sure if we're necessarily going to use this for when we mount it to the rig, but when we mount it to my desk, we're definitely going to use these. And then it includes some foam here, so that way you're not probably marring your surface. I'm imagining this foam is going to go along the inside of the table clamp, if I had to guess. Seems very likely that that's what that's going to go for. There's no instructions here, and we'll check the website in just a little bit and see if there's instructions on the website and how to put it together. But to be honest with you, it seems pretty much like a no-brainer sort of solution. Doesn't seem like it would be difficult to put together at all. All right, so now let's take a look at the pedals. Now again, these are the Cammus CP5 pedals. They're not load cell, so I don't expect them to compete with, you know, my Husenfeld Sprints or even Fanatec's ClubSports that are load cell or anything like that. But for the price, I mean, we're talking 50 bucks from one bundle to another, and it pretty much seems like an essentials bundle. Like this is something, especially if you're just starting out, you don't have anything. This is something, or if you're looking for a gift idea, seems like a really good competitive price. Now, I would like to also take a look at other brands out there like Fanatec, like Thrustmaster, and see what they have in the price. You know, there is some things that are within this price range, within the $300 range, but all in right now on sale, it's $329, normally $449 for this entire bundle, but $329 is extremely low in price for everything you need to kind of get going. So, all right, let's take a look here. Quite a bit of tape on this box here. All right, so let's lay this down. Okay, so we got some nice foam here to protect it, and we are greeted with the user manual, kind of similar to the Cammus C5 wheel. Manual's right on top, and it is in multiple languages, so that way you could read up on it, kind of see exactly how to set it up. It does give some instructions to do so. I like that it utilizes a USB Type-C connection from the pedals to the wheelbase, especially now that, you know, almost every major manufacturer of cell phone has a USB-C. If anything were to ever happen to your USB-C cable, you know, animal eats it or whatever, generally speaking, we should have some lying around, right? So it's a lot more convenient. So these are the pedal plates here, and you can hear they are metal in construction. Very, very simple. It would be kind of cool because I see, I don't know, let's go into the box a little bit further before I start giving any sort of critiques or anything like that. We do have the other pedal plate here. Again, metal. Let's take this foam out. This looks like it's going to be the base. So we got the base coming out, very thick, considering metal here. And then it looks like we have a QR code. Scan the code to watch the installation video. So that's pretty neat. So you have the install QR right there. And on the back here, we could see we have that USB-C as well as another port there. And it looks like, I don't know if that's a, yeah, almost looks like a power light, so that way it knows, or it can let you know that it's getting power to the board. Almost like an activity light in a way. But that is actually pretty thick metal. Plate's actually metal. It's not plastic. I was kind of curious about that. So that's actually very interesting to see. So further down in the box now, we do have the USB-C cable. This is to connect the pedals to the base. And it says Cammus on the USB. So all their USBs so far that they have included actually are branded from them. That's insane. They really didn't have to do that, but it's crazy attention to detail. It almost brings a really good sort of premiumness to the product. All right, so we do have a little bag of small screws, small hardware with an Allen. I would imagine these are to fix the pedal faces to the actual arms here. And then underneath, even further, we have these little rubber pads, and I would imagine these are to go, if I had to guess, these are probably gonna go on the underside of the pedal plate to resist any sort of movement. If you're, especially on a hardwood floor or linoleum or anything like that, these would probably give you ample traction. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 of them. Let's take these out. And there's nothing underneath there, but we do have the actual arms here. So these are the actual pedals that we're going to mount the pedal faces to. And this one says accelerator pedal, says accelerator pedal right there in green. And not much of a throw, but it is smooth. It is smooth, and it's just purely a spring on the inside there. Kind of reminds me in a way of like the Thrustmaster, the T3PA Pros that we've had. And these are the brake pedal, and you can see there, red sticker, very easy to see, and seems like it's very similar resistance, so not necessarily stronger resistance, maybe slightly. It kind of looks like the spring itself on the inside has a different amount of windings, but maybe slightly firmer pedal for the brake, but really hard to differentiate between the two. But I'm sure there's tons of mods and things like that to kind of give it a little bit of a different resistance. And that's it for the box here. Okay, so you could see that I have everything together now, and it honestly was very easy to do so. And also, I'm happy to report there was no issues with any sort of threading problems. There was no burrs. Everything was smooth. Everything had beveled edges. Even they went as far, and I'm glad they did because it would be unacceptable otherwise, but for the price, I was actually kind of surprised that the screws here had nice countersunk holes that were put in, and there was no issues with any sort of burring or, you know, extra metal or anything like that. It looks like that these are all powder coated, and the powder coating looks really well. Even the screws themselves that are coated didn't really cause an issue. There wasn't any of the screws that I encountered that had any sort of extra coating on it that prevented from threading in. Everything went in as expected. Very, very surprised. And now that I have everything together, you can see the pedals here. The brake pedal actually does feel a little bit more firmer than the throttle pedal. Very surprising there. I don't know if that's really going to relay in how it's going to feel under my feet, because sometimes when you're racing in the heat of the moment, it is kind of harder to tell the slight variations of resistance that I've noticed, especially when I had my Thrustmaster T3PA Pro pedals, the metal pedals, and I had a mod in there with hydraulic shocks from RC cars and just anything I could possibly do to make it feel more firm. And even then, sometimes it was kind of hard to tell, especially in the heat of the moment. But this is a good amount of feedback here. And again, they're all metal construction, which I am super surprised, and very smooth in their throw, even though there is a spring there. So very excited to try them just to really see exactly how they perform. But yeah, overall, very surprised here and very easy to put together. I would say in total for both pieces, maybe 15 minutes to put the table clamp mount together. Probably took a little bit longer because there was more pieces. But you can see with the table clamp mount, we did install that foam on the inside there to prevent any sort of marring happening on the front of the desk, which is really nice that they included. I've had some racing products from more prominent, bigger, well-known brands that included table clamps that did not include foam. So it's actually a nice little touch that they did, especially being that we're going to be mounting a direct drive wheel. Even though it's only 5 Newton meters, 5 Newton meters is actually pretty strong. There is potential for damage there, so very smart of them to include that, and I'm very happy they did. You can see their brand logo on the top here. On the underside, inside there, we do have that fan that we installed from when we unboxed that Cammus C5 racing wheel. That's where the fan goes. This is the plug that's going to go into the wheelbase once we actually mount it. I'm actually excited to see if the holes line up, because there's quite a bit of mounting holes, or quite a few mounting holes on the underside of this bracket that you could probably just mount it directly to a rig, and you don't actually have to include these arms for the table and, you know, try to fasten something. So this adjustment, this angled adjustment here, can mount directly to a rig. There's quite a few holes there on the bottom to really try to see if any of them already line up with my sim rig. I think some of them will, and that is super exciting. And it's just going to make it overall a much easier experience. But we do have quite a bit of angle adjustment here. And I think I looked it up, and I think the middle hole is like 10 degrees. And then you have plus or minus 6 degrees on top of that of adjustability to really get that wheel feeling good. So overall, for a table clamp, just for a mounting solution, for the price they're asking for, I think this is essential. If you don't have any pedals and you're looking just for a simple set of pedals, I need to try these first, but I'm very compelled to say, you know, for the price, for what they're asking, especially if you're looking for like a gift idea, or just, you know, you're on a tight budget, you want a good wheel, and you'll upgrade pedals later. These out of the box feel very good. I do wish there was some sort of like foam or rubber face or something, you know, because most people that are racing with these are probably only going to be in socks, and, you know, the edges, even though they're nice and they're, you know, they're smoothened out, there's no sharp edges necessarily, it can get a little tiring under your foot, because I've dealt with pedals that are similar to this in the past. But overall, they seem surprising for the money, especially being all metal construction. Can't wait to try them out. Definitely stay tuned for that video where we go into our first impressions. We're going to mount it to the desk, and we're going to see exactly what we think. And then later on, we're going to mount it to the motion rig, take my Sim Experience AccuForce Pro V2 off, mount the Cammus C5 on, and really get a feel for it there in the aluminum profile rig. I can't wait to do that. Everyone, I'm Crash. This is RTA Motorsports. Again, please help me out. Subscribe, hit that like button, hit that reminder bell. Help us out here at RTA Motorsports. And as usual, stay safe, stay happy, and I'll catch you all next time.